Hey guys, Bill Giannone here. And as part of my responsibilities as one of the owners of the Crest Network, I work very closely with a company here in Atlanta called Reliable Restoration. You'll see I'm wearing a Reliable shirt today. And part of my responsibilities here at Reliable is to act as their COO, their Chief Operating Officer. Well, that entails a lot of things. One of the things it entails is kind of managing the personnel, trying to keep everybody focused on what's going on in the company, kind of the higher level general ideas of what's happening in the company and keep everybody moving towards the goals and online with everything that's going on in the company. I'm not out in the field very much. I'm not worried about what they're doing on the trucks or what they're doing with the job. That's not really my forte. But my forte is to make sure that the communication between everybody stays there and everybody's kind of understanding what's going on. Now, that's something that many of you as managers and supervisors have to be responsible for. You got to kind of oversee what's going on and you have to call people out every once in a while. So I just wanted to give you a couple of tips on how to handle that, because many times what happens in a company is you might have that position because you started as a technician and you worked your way up and now you're a manager. Well, I didn't have that ability. I came from Wall Street and I worked for 30 years on Wall Street. And then I started a consulting business here in the restoration industry. So when I came to Reliable, I wasn't a guy on a truck at Reliable, now in charge of my buddies, but you might be. So I really wanted to give you a little heads up. Understand a couple of things. If you're doing that and you're working with your buddies now, it's going to have an impact on your social life, because as a business commitment you've made to your owner, you have to be objective. You have to make decisions that are best for the company. And we all know what that means. Every once in a while, Johnny or Joe or Sarah might be left out in the cold because that might be something that isn't best for them. Now, what happens if you're spending a couple of nights and all weekend hanging out with them, but Monday through Friday, you are their boss? You're responsible. The owner's relying on you to give that feedback and to keep them working towards that common goal. So be ready for that. Be ready for some blowback, that it's going to cause you some internal friction and strife. Also understand that there's going to be jealousy from time to time. You got to know that every once in a while, somebody's going to think that you shouldn't have gotten the job, they should have gotten the job, or they're going to be upset with what goes on. In other walks of life, this happens all the time. In unions, it's a big thing because a lot of times the union bosses and the union leaders and the union reps get chosen from the rank and file. So you go from being a union member and now you're in charge of the guys who you're buddies with. And now you're a union leader. It's really tough. Schools, you'll see teachers go ahead and maybe get an advanced degree and go from being an educator to being an assistant principal or a principal. And that's really, really awkward situation. It happens in all walks of life. I'm just letting you know. If it happens to you, be prepared for some kickback. You owe it to the owner to be the guy to watch out for them. You're his eyes and ears out there in the field, and you have to be the one to watch out for them. So I'm sorry to bring you this bad news, but sometimes being a leader and being a manager might mean that you have to make some subtle changes to your social life just to make a good work and life balance. Hope this helps, and we'll be talking more about this in some future videos. Thanks, guys.